Before I start giving you the details on this tap handle, I've got two questions for you. First, do you like beer brands from Rhode Island? Two, are you a fan of the Elder Gods? Because if you answered yes to both of those, I've got an absolutely freaking killer tap handle for you. Now, Narragansett is a well-known Rhode Island beer brand. I've touched on Narragansett a little bit before. They're a older brand that had kind of gone defunct but was revived by some really cool folks that wanted to bring it back. There's a little bit of history, and the reason why I say Rhode Island beer brand is because they still do a lot of production out of state, but a bit of that is changing. And then the other thing with Rhode Island is super, super well known for their connections with H.P. Lovecraft. And going along with H.P. Lovecraft, you've got the Elder Gods and all of that, like, fun, not fun stuff by, like, I don't know, if you were into the, like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like the Elder Gods would be fun people to hang out with. That's all I'm saying. Now for the tap. This is a absolutely freaking cool tap handle. It's worth noting that with the Lovecraft series, this was a series. They released a number of different tap handles. I don't know how many. I was chatting with one of the folks at Narragansett not too long ago, somebody in their marketing department, and they mentioned that there were a few. I feel like it may have been something like three or four. I don't remember entirely off the top of my head, but if I remember correctly, they're all figural taps, which makes them super cool and something that if you're a collector of tap handles, you may want to add to your collection. One of the things I mentioned there was if you're a collector of tap handles, a lot of these more delicate figural tap handles I wouldn't really recommend as a bottle opener or umbrella or anything like that, because you do want to be a little bit more careful with them. This one is, like I mentioned, H.P. Lovecraft series, and it's just a super cool one. There is a little bit of wear here, I think. Yeah, it looks like we've got a couple of wear marks on there. See if I can zoom. That little white bit there, that little white bit there, those may be little bits that had chipped off or something similar. And then we've got little bits here as well. It's worth checking that if you're looking at any of the taps to see if there is any little bits of damage like that. And then over here as well, these are wear type things. So I sometimes I'll use a little bit more aggressive language, damage, but damage I would normally consider if a major portion was chipped off. You do want to keep an eye out on it. If it's something that you're adding to your own personal collection, then obviously go at it. If it's something where you might be selling it later on, you just want to be very obvious about any marks like that so that the person that's buying from you knows what they're getting. For this particular tap handle, the design and the concept is just freaking wonderful. You've got this base here, which is standard base. You've got Narragansett down here. You've got this stack of books, Lovecraft series. That's kind of a call out to the fact that there's multiple ones, and also call out to the books. And then here you've got the tentacles that are rising up. It's actually a pretty cool design here, the way that they've got the suction cup side and then the more tentacle outer portion there. But it's just a really, really great, really cool design. I haven't seen a ton of these floating around, so if it is something where you're looking to pick them up, if you see one from a collector or something like that, just go for it if it's something that you want. You do want to keep in mind that some of the figural tap handles are going to be a little bit more expensive. Typically for me, if I'm picking up a figural tap handle, I assume that it's going to be like 35 bucks or more. So typically with a figural, I'll assume that it's between 35 to 100. If it's something that's super rare, super hard to find, then sometimes it'll be a little bit more. This one, though, I'm a huge fan of. It will probably be going and staying in my collection for quite some time, and it's just really, really cool. Oh, another thing I wanted to call out here, too, is the ferrule down here on the bottom. It's worth noting that that should be black. That should be matching with this bottom section here. If you don't see it, or if it's another color, then that most likely means that it was replaced. And with the black ferrules, some of the alternate colors for ferrules can be a little bit hard to find. If you have silver or gold, you can normally find similar type replacements, even if they're not exact. If you're dealing with something like a black ferrule, a copper one, anything like that, those can be a little bit harder to find replacements for. If you do need those, then let me know. I'm not like officially selling them yet, but I may start offering them up on my shop for folks that need them, but most likely only to a limited extent. But once again, absolutely great tap handle from Narragansett.